Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Asian report, and we'll be looking at the ASX200 and a few stocks and the Nifty. And with the ASX200 here, as you may recall from this wave 4 here, we've been counting wave 1 and 2, and nice strong third wave here, a fourth wave here, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 through to here. I'll just drill into this on the tick chart here. Just give me a moment. Okay, I found it. So this is just 20 ticks here. I was just concerned about one thing. From this wave 4 here, I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for 1, ABC for 2, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. So that just leaves us with the third wave up here in this particular space. So the fourth wave would pull back to the fourth wave of one lesser degree. So there may be one more little push to the upside here. So we need a little bit of a strategy. I mean, even if this moves up through to here, then it will fade at that particular point. The thing here is that we need a bit of a strategy. So between this high here and this low here, the 50-60% retracement level is here, so we can say that that's at 6,090, that top there. So if the market breaches that, well, you still wouldn't take any action anyway. You still need the 6,100 as support. But the other way to count this to the upside too, perhaps, is to have this wave 4 over here and have this wave 1 and 2 here and 3 here, 5 here and 4 here, and have that top in place. We're quite near a top. We're certainly a top in the European markets, and the US markets looks the same as well. So I think probably this would be the right sort of count here for this here. So even so, with this move down here, we should see some sort of little rally in here before seeing further downside, because if that's the top, that would be 1 and 2 here, and 3 and 4 and 5 here. So a little ABC into this space and then down again. So in a nutshell, we can look at this in a couple of ways. We can short the low of this here, because the 6,100 here, the range for that correction would be group 1 above and group 2 below. So once group 2 here makes the resistance, it's come down and it's retesting it now. And if it fails the retest and moves down, well, then we know that it's leaving this number here. So I'm just going to save that and push that off to the side. So we can have this top in here. We can look at it in two different ways. So what we can do is we can look at this particular short trade being under here. The other thing that I want to mention here too before leaving this page is that in the bullish weekly cycle, we would normally see Thursday as the bear day and Friday as a bullish day. But if Friday is the bearish day, well, then that puts us into a bearish cycle. So if we move down today, then we can expect to move down on Monday as well, and we'll be in that trend. So it's really important what happens today. So if the Australian market closes weaker today, then we know that we're in that trend to the downside. It's just a little helpful thing, and then Monday would follow through on that. So just drilling out here for a moment on the 4-hour chart here, we've got, we can look at this as wave 1 and 2 here, and then wave 3 here, and A and a B and a C for wave 4, and we've been counting wave 5 up here. In the last chart that we looked at in 1 hour, I had this wave 4 here in green. Not that it's a big deal, but I wanted to show you this here, and then we also want to have a quick look at the S&P 500. Here we go. So this is the S&P 500. So as you can see, they're pretty much the same in terms of wave 3 and 4 here, and moving up for wave 5, and we can certainly see that it's rolled over here. The 50-60% retracement level for this would be about down here somewhere, We could look at that later. We just need to confirm we're getting 5 waves in this particular structure. Obviously, there's going to be support around the 2650 area here, as it will mirror it over here. So the bottom line is that, you know, we can look at this being 5 waves up in both cases. So let me just remove that. So what does that mean? So if we get 5 waves up off the low here, then we can look for a further bullish move here. So let's just say the top's in. We know that we can have one more little high here, so there's a possibility for that. But otherwise, we should see, don't need that anymore. Otherwise, we should see this move down lower in this space here, testing or having really a correction across the 6,000 would be another way to sort of see this as well here. So we'll be looking at something like this here. So I'll just pop that in here, that there. And of course the 50-60% retracement level through here, and not that it has to move all the way down there either. But we need to put that in there as the first sort of guide stick there. So but because we've got 5 up here, after a correction, we should see another 5 moving up in this space here. So that's what we'll be looking for, but we'll need to identify this as being corrective rather than impulsive to the downside. So we've got a few things to do here. We've got to get some evidence that we've got a top in place to start with, and then as this moves into this space here, then we can look at that there as well. So just want to have a quick look at some of the stocks as well. So first of all, this is the banking sector. This is the XXJ on a daily chart here. And what I'd been looking for here, as you may recall, is that the move up through here is wave 1 or wave A and pull back here, and then we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. So I can only count 3 waves here. So that makes it corrective, and it makes whatever happens here corrective as well. So what I was thinking and mentioned before is that we look at this as the A wave to the upside, and A, B, C back here for the B wave, and then 5 waves up for the C wave here. So I can see that, you know, all the banks are pretty much in line. Of course, they can be slightly different, but in a nutshell, we've got 1 and 2 in here, and 3 here, and 4 here, and 5 here. So there may be another little high here on some of the banks, like Westpac can have another little high here. But we should see a top in these areas here. So once we get that top in place, I want to see you know, what occurs after that. Do we get you know, do we get a 5 wave move down here, or do we get a corrective move down into that space here as a retracement level, and then move up here again? So this is what I want to have a look. I want to see how large this particular pattern here can get, but we could certainly have a top in play for the bank. So just be a little bit mindful of that. That's why not the right time to enter. We need to look at this and get some evidence here. So this sector here is the XMJ, the materials sector, and we're seeing quite a strong bullish move in all of this. And so if we just take a look at, say, BHP and RIO for a moment, just as a guide stick, you know, there's leaders and there's followers. So with BHP here, we've got this top in play here, and we can look at this here as an A wave here, and a B wave in here, and a C wave here. Now, when we look at RIO didn't come down below this previous low here. It's still up here, but we would still need to call RIO the same as well, as an A and a B and a C here. But it does leave us this particular pattern here, and that pattern would be 5 waves here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 in here. And then we've got our pullback in here. So we can look at this as wave 1, wave 2, and wave 3 here. Wave 3 at this stage here is much the same length as wave 1 here. So that would mean that BHP can pull back, if it pulls back today from this high here, it can pull back to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree here and then move up higher from that. But because wave 1 and wave 3 are roughly the same length, well, wave 5 is going to be shorter, so that will take us up to about 38 at this stage with this. So we're still looking for a 5-wave sequence in the materials sector here to complete. This could count out different from here too. It could count out with wave 1 here and wave 2 here, then wave 1 and back for wave 2, still in the 3rd wave and 3rd, 4th and 5th up here. So a larger 3rd wave moving up here. But I can't go there yet with that. I just need to stay with what I can see at the moment. So with RIO here, with BHP, we've got this A, B and C here. With RIO, we've got it a bit like this here, so we can look at this down here as the A wave and then the B wave and the C wave here, even though it hasn't made a new low here. And in this case here, if I can just squash this up a little bit, we can see that in this case here we've got a much stronger 3rd wave in here. So once again here as well, we'll be looking at some sort of corrective move back into this base, and that would be across the medium level there, 90 in this instance. So we'll see a dance across there, and then we'll see that push to the upside here in another move, perhaps even making it to 100 here for RIO. So so just covering the finance and the resources, you know, roughly there, that will give you a bit of an idea of what can happen to the other stocks that are in that space. Right, so yes, let's just have a look at India now. Well, India here. So with India, you know, I'd always figured that we've got wave 3 over here, an A wave here, a B wave up here, in three waves up here, and then down for wave C here of wave 4. But it never really displayed a nice impulse wave to the upside here. I can get an impulsive count in all of this, and I've mentioned that before, and we can have a look at that again today. But the other point here is that if this is actually wave 5 here, then this would come down as wave 1 or wave A, and then this would be wave B here, and this is the 50-60% retracement level. So it has made a new high here. So and we can track 5 waves up there. So it could be an A wave to here, an A and a B and a C for a B wave, and then into a C wave here and ending here, and then moving lower from this point. So we need to have a look at this in terms of a bullish pattern and also a bearish pattern, and then we need to sort of drill in and find at what point that one would rule the other one. So on the bullish count, I think we had that here. So we can look at the whole move up from the low here as wave 1 here and wave 2 here, and then wave 1 with an A and a B and a C for wave 2. And then we're looking here in terms of the move up here, which is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. I think that we've got one more little high to go into here. And then that finishes that there. So we've got wave 1 there, then we'd have an ABC back for wave 2, and then we would move up into wave 3. So the 50-60% retracement levels here around the 10,800. So we can expect the price to come into this box, but if it finds the resistance there, then we know that we're in a bearish picture here, because just see what chart I've got the bearish picture on. Okay, so it's just the 1 hour chart. So we know that this is the 61% retracement level where it is here right now, and the move from wave B here, if we can just copy that here and put that here as wave C. So that 5 waves up here in this instance here would complete here as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and looks, maybe that fifth wave is already in here on this top here. Not that we're going to trade it long, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, we just need to wait and see now what occurs with this particular market here at this particular stage. So yeah, let's just see when the top is in, and then we'll be able to get our target to the downside. These are not here for any particular reason except for storage, so we'll put those out of the way. So we're looking for some type of correction back into the 10.8 sort of area here, but let's just see how we go here. I want to see if this is a top in play. That top could just be straight in here on that little high here. But yeah, let's just see. Yeah, we'll just gather some evidence on that. Alrighty, so that's it. Thanks for tuning in and enjoy the weekend.